Hey guys, what's up? This is Tactical Zeth, and I have here
Schneider.
That's me. This is the sub-hour speedrun of Rainbow Six Vegas 2 for the Xbox 360. This is the fastest completed time of the game.
Yeah, fastest completed time of this game. If you look on the left side of the screen here in a little bit, Zeth is going to be player 1, and I, Schneider, am going to be on the right as player 2. We've got some split screen action.
Yeah. So after we mark the starting of time, we'll explain a little bit about our loadout and basics. The time starts when you see checkpoint reached. That's because if you were to reload checkpoint through the start menu there, you would spawn there instead of not being able to do that at all.
Yep, it gives you some time to get ready to start moving. And player 1 is the only person who really needs to go through this door here because I warp to the spot as soon as the cutscene starts.
Oh, this is Monroe here. I want to stand here because he walks toward me. This cutscene ends when he gets to a certain point, so getting him out from behind the table saves a couple frames. Calling them Monroe frames. So back to the loadout. I run a Type 05 SMG as my primary. It's because it has a 50 bullet magazine, and it has a very quick reload animation as well, so it's very good. We also run the, we both have a Desert Eagle and flashbang as well as incendiary grenade
And a shield.
And a shield. Schneider, what's your
G3K4? I use the assault rifle with 6x scope so that I can snipe enemies. And I believe you have the red dot sight on your Type 05.
It doesn't really matter what.
And extended mag on Deagle.
Yeah, extended mag on the Deagles gives us 10 bullets instead of 7.
Yeah. So here we gain control of our weapons here. And he shoots through me at that enemy there. Otherwise he's very dangerous.
Now we have to kill these two guys here. If we fail to do so, we get a mission failed when we progress. I'm about to kill myself here to catch up, not only, but I also spawn with a full bar sprint, which allows me to get a little bit ahead.
Yep. And I flash these guys because killing them causes more enemies to spawn later on. I have to throw that second flashbang to make sure they stay flashed as we go through here.
Yeah, this begins a chain reaction of kind of modifying who's spawning where.
Yep.
That shield guy is extra, he's not supposed to be there. That just shows us that we have done the setup properly. Normally there's 3 guys in that room, there's only 2. And normally there's a sniper, and sometimes one. Sometimes, or there's supposed to be a sniper there. He's not there until then.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 guys in this room normally, there's only 1. Sometimes there's 2 if you get a little bit slower.
Yeah, so that shows you why we use the flashbang, because enemies spawn in, they're triggered by other enemies getting killed. So you'll kill one guy only to find another guy spawns in right behind him.
Yeah. I banked a flash there for the 2 guys, and then we shot the guy through the door through. So coming up here is the first instance of a shield glitch, which is kind of the bread and butter of skipping a lot of content in the game. Basically how it works, I'm going to switch to my shield, and as I'm doing the animation of pulling out the shield, I'm holding the left trigger to trick the game into thinking that I'm trying to get into cover, where there's not actually cover animation. This produces kind of a weird state where the game doesn't know where you're supposed to be. And if you were to press the cover button again, the game would warp you back to where you pressed it the first time.
With one exception, of course.
That being that it does not remember the vertical coordinate that you're at. So if you were to go upstairs or downstairs and try to cover again, you would warp back to the XY coordinate where you set it up, but at a different vertical coordinate. This allows us to skip the whole negotiation scene.
Yep.
And also skip the spawns of everybody after that.
Yeah, so I'm invincible there for a little while so I can tank that exploding pipe.
And we reload there to get Keller and Gabe for this last part of the act.
Yep. Since we did the shield glitch, they're nowhere near able to be here to defuse
Yeah,
this
they're
bomb.
actually back at the beginning. I throw 2 incendiaries there because there's guys behind turrets, behind those metal doors. slide down doors. And as soon as you hear Gabe say there, you can run out. If you go any sooner, he says, I can't work with you over my shoulder or whatever. And then it's Schneid's job to protect me while I get him up. Normally you have to wait for Alpha Team to show up and inject him with whatever to help him up, but you can do it yourself if you're protected.
Yeah, that's definitely the fastest way to do that. Some more fundamentals about the game for two-player. Basically, player one has to be alive when either person hits a checkpoint for that checkpoint to count.
So if I'm dead and Schneid hits a checkpoint, if he dies, we go back to the last checkpoint that we were at when I was alive.
Yeah, it doesn't count it until he then comes back alive again after that.
Then it remembers where we're supposed to be and we can reload and do whatever we need to do.
Yeah. So Act 2 is pretty flat. No real way to do a shield glitch here.
Yeah, it's all just kind of going forward.
Yeah,
a lot of flash strats.
Yeah, we need all of our flashbangs essentially for this one because it's a very long act. Sprinting.
Sprinting. Well, I mentioned earlier that I kill myself to spawn with a full sprint bar, but the way that the sprinting actually works is that it replenishes automatically whenever you're just not sprinting. So you can be doing any sort of animation like opening a door, switching weapon, and it'll be replenishing your sprint all the way.
Yeah, so you can sprint and then your character will automatically slow to walking and you can throw a flashbang during that time and you'll be reloading your sprint bar. So it's like a free animation. And even with some guns, the reload animation is short enough that you can have a free reload animation.
So back there I told Mike and Jung to hold. That's going to be important later, but the main reason we tell them to hold a lot of the time is that they like to kill people, and a lot of our strategies rely on keeping people alive and or not aggroed to keep the game from spawning people in front of us, which allows us to traverse areas safely.
Yeah, and he flashed those guys in that room because we don't want to kill anybody because then guys will kill him while he's trying to go do that fast rope. And the guys on the left never kill you here, so you don't have to worry about them. But I have to spawn in here to make sure that I'm in position to kill this one guy.
Yeah, he's always there. Sometimes he'll shoot me in the back when I'm going up the stairs. It's better just to kill him.
Yeah. So, if you hadn't told Mike and Jung to hold, pretty much as soon as you hit that checkpoint, they just die.
And that's because they kill people along the way, spawn more guys, and inevitably fail to kill everybody before they kill them.
Yeah, so it causes us to have to reload sometimes. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does.
So here, I'm using flashes to do the same sort of thing, just advancing safely without them shooting at all. Schneid repels down just in case I fail. The run may not be completely over if he's able to pick up where I left off.
Yeah, but since he survived, I'm just taking cover behind a box where it's safe to take cover. And as soon as he opens this door, I throw a grenade to kill myself.
Now, another thing about telling Mike and you to hold back, I have to be really careful about when I press the A button. Because if I tell them to go to a door or get into cover, go to a location...
Yeah, just regrouping.
Just regrouping even. They'll warp and sometimes go through the outer world out of bounds on the way there and die. Schneid used invulnerability to get through those two guys there.
Yeah, so for a few seconds after a person respawns, they're invulnerable, so that allows us to get through really dangerous areas. All we have to do is time it so that the roughly 12 or so seconds between death and when we respawn is enough time to get to the spot. And then you spawn in right on time.
So you may notice that we're using incendiaries instead of frag grenades. This is because the incendiary has a generally shorter fuse, and while frag grenades, their fuse will run automatically when you throw the grenade, incendiary's fuse will start as soon as it hits a surface. So both of those factors combined, it's just a little faster all around to use them.
Yeah, so we reload here because at the end of this area, there's a door that sometimes just won't open, and the game will just lock, it'll soft lock basically. So that's why we reload, because it makes it so that doesn't happen.
I mean, tell Mike and Yoon to hold, because when Schneider walked past that steamroller, too many guys die, there will be at least 4 guys who spawn next to the steamroller.
Yeah, and I'll just instantly die.
So we set up the iframes so that I can draw fire from this turret guy, which allows us to pass. This is the aforementioned door that will sometimes stay locked.
Yep.
Right here, I'm going to throw a flashbang. I have to be careful to wait a second before I throw it. The 2 guys there, they have an animation of walking out, and if the flashbang detonates before they finish that animation, they will not be flashed. That prevents a majority of the people, including that turret, from spawning.
Yep, no guy on the turret. We reload here to get Mike and Yoon and the hostage to warp here so we can begin opening this gate as soon as possible.
I kind of wedge myself between the hostage and the gate so I can get a little bit on the other side and not have to wait for her to walk through to advance.
And you tell Mike and Yoon to regroup, of course, so they're close.
Yeah, so that
basically they plant the bomb.
Yeah, progression
earlier.
is based on them planting this bomb here. There's a guy on the other side of the door. He should die. Today he didn't, but
Yeah, like 4 out of 5 times I'd say he dies. But just be ready for him.
Coming up here is kind of a bottleneck. Schneid needs to kill these 2 guys, or we get a mission failed because of those hostages being unsaved.
Yeah. And I have to throw this flashbang to get this guy flashed.
Yeah. And then throw another flash there. I switched to incendiary because I have to throw a couple key incendiaries in this next room.
Yeah, you have to switch the grenade before you have checkpoint reach, otherwise you have the other kind of grenade that you had. And we reloaded there because there's another door here that sometimes just doesn't open.
Just opened. Sometimes it won't if you're a little too fast.
Yeah.
We have to kill these 3 guys, and then Mike and Yoon have to get into this room. I tell them to go into the room manually with the A button, thinking it would be faster, but they kind of got distracted along the way. Generally, it's better just to have them following you, so they stay behind you no matter what.
Yep, they were a little bit slow. But that was only like a 7-time-second loss or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge deal.
Yeah. And we run out here as soon as the dialogue starts because that enables the chopper to come down.
As soon as it says regrouping, the little thing will pop up saying regrouping right there. At that point we need to be in this area or the chopper will not come until we get here.
Yeah. So another thing about checkpoints is when you reload them, you'll have the same loadout that you had when you hit the checkpoint.
Like if you had your pistol out.
Yeah, then you will respawn with your pistol out.
And same with the grenades.
Same grenade that you were using. You will have a full magazine of ammo, of course.
So I switched to my SMG here for the beginning of this next area. We have to kill a certain number of people, all of the ones on the ground as well as some of the ones that come over the roof, as you'll see.
Yeah, Mike and you need to search a van, and they won't search the van until you kill everybody on the ground and all of the enemies that rappel over the side. So, basically, in order to kill people as quickly as possible, we reload a checkpoint as soon as it becomes available for us to reload.
Yeah.
And this is another really flat act. This is pretty much the run maker. If you get through this act in one piece, you're looking good for the rest of the game, essentially.
Yeah, there's a couple other choke points, but this whole act is essentially one giant choke point that we have to buckle down and get through safely. Right here, Schneid's gonna reload the checkpoint as soon as my feet touch the ground.
Yeah, I can open that little reload dialog and get ready to press the A button.
And the reason we do that is to avoid the animation of everybody individually going down the rope.
Yeah, it'd be really slow.
And we utilize the marking functionality. Mike and you actually do kill people if you mark them. but if you don't mark them, they're kind of bad at killing stuff.
Yep. And for some reason, the van activates earlier than it usually does. To be honest, we're not quite sure why this is. I had to quick scope this guy right here to make sure he doesn't kill Zeph from behind. But they do search the van quickly, and we get up to the next point where we can go through. As soon as Lawrence is done talking here, you can open this door.
Coming up is a few key flashbangs that we have to hit.
Yeah, this one is actually very precise to flash these two guys, so I just throw it in a very specific spot.
In this next room, I have to throw one pretty deep and far back, and he has to throw one across the corner to get everybody in this room.
Yeah.
It's one of the craziest rooms, and if you kill too many guys, like 4 or 5 guys spawn about where we are now.
Yeah, which is why Mike and Yoon are still holding now, because we don't want them to follow us here. They'll ruin everything.
There is another reason, which we will get to in the next mission.
Oh, what is that?
Them warping.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. But here's the rock wall. This is another one of those points where if we're a little too fast, guys may not spawn, and if we don't kill those guys, then we may get soft locked in this room.
Yeah, the guy I just killed, if he disappears, then you should worry. If he disappears before you can kill him.
And normally there's a guy coming over that first rope there, but I guess he was just a little late, and incidentally there were no guys up here. There's normally 2 or 3.
Yeah, so we were like fast, but not too fast, so if you get to a certain point fast enough, sometimes enemy triggers won't happen where they spawn in.
Now, I could throw a grenade through that window. I may or may not have mentioned earlier that throwing grenades through windows is kind of weird. Sometimes it will bounce in a random direction instead of going through the window, and it's just not worth the RNG of...
It'll bounce at you instead of going through the window.
And as you can imagine, that would be very problematic. Here, I need to kill myself at a specific time. I almost jumped the gun, but I'm able to move out of the way. I need to kill myself a little bit later. This is the setup for iframes in this next area.
Yeah, there would be a lot more enemies, except we're just fast, so we skip them. And we take the most optimized route, so there are no enemies in that room. And you have to make sure to shoot the window pretty early, because you have a surprisingly long time after you shoot before you can climb through the window.
So there's the spot where we use the iframes, and we may have mentioned earlier that we were keeping Mike and Young back for another reason. When I tell them to come there, they actually warp to where we are.
Yeah, and because they warp, they're not shooting at people as they go into the arena and being really slow progressing. They just immediately set up the bomb.
So coming up here is a cutscene, or it's supposed to be a cutscene, where they try to knock down the door to save the people getting gassed, but Schneid is able to block Mike long enough for me to hit this checkpoint, and we can just skip that cutscene entirely.
Yeah, like you can just open that door and go through.
So right here, we need to avoid killing any of these guys. I kind of messed up my flashbang, but there's supposed to be 2 flashbangs that Schneid...
Yeah, I throw the second one.
Cleans up. If you kill any of those guys, like 4 or 5 guys that spawns where Schneid is now.
Yeah.
This guy sometimes spawns. If you're fast, he generally doesn't. The last guy there.
Yeah. So we normally throw a flashbang in here, but since he just died, he just sprints through.
Yeah,
we know that he's not going to die.
Yeah, iframes make it pretty secure.
Who would do something like this?
Before it becomes too relevant, we should talk a little bit about the enemy types. There
Oh,
are
Shield guys.
yeah, shield guys. There are
very annoying.
light enemies and armored enemies. Armored enemies will take like 2 non-center mass slash headshots to kill.
With the deagle, at
With the
least.
deagle,
If
at
you hit
least.
them in their limbs, sometimes they won't die. Especially if you're far away, because there is decreased damage with distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we can be really far away from enemies and not even worry about them. And if they're shooting us with an automatic weapon, they just don't even
Right, they don't
hurt
do a
us.
lot of damage. And then there's turret guys who are not affected by flashbangs when they're actually behind the turret.
Yeah, when they're on the turret, no flash. And same with shield guys, they don't get flashed.
So coming up here is another shield glitch. It's probably the smallest amount of time saved for a shield glitch, but
it does save time.
It does save time.
And I'm shooting to draw aggro away from him so he can survive long enough to hit that checkpoint.
Also the riskiest of the shield skips.
Yeah.
I reload there to get everybody back on the same page so we can address this room properly. After this room, I tell Mike and him to hold, which is important for the library atrium.
Yeah, in that room, sometimes a shotgun guy comes out from a cubicle, so you need to be aware of him. You'll know him when you see him.
So, without Mike and Yoon, this room is significantly quieter. We kill that first guy, and there's generally a second guy who runs across. He wasn't there. We got a little bit of a different situation where that guy shows up, respawns him, and then Schneider has to kill a shield guy to unlock this door.
Yeah, I kind of fail at the grenades, but that guy is the trigger for that door, so you have to kill him.
Right. So Schneider kills himself here. If I enter the checkpoint when he's dead, he's able to regain control immediately.
Yeah, instead of waiting for a second like you normally have to do.
You go through the door and he kind of, or the other player will get warped into a specific spot and then kind of fade in before they can move. This parking lot's pretty crazy. We have to just throw flashbangs and pray they flash the right guys. Here's a heavy enemy here.
We basically throw 3 flashbangs and we have to hit like 5 guys that are really far apart in there. I'm supposed to throw an incendiary here, but I'm out of incendiaries, so Zeph throws it for me. But sometimes people come out from there and you have to kill them.
A heavy enemy as well as a shield enemy will come out from behind there.
Yeah.
This is the gazebo room. If we throw the flash too early before we're actually in the gazebo room, the flash won't affect anything. We're not sure why that works that way, but...
Yeah, and sometimes it happens with this alley too, like you have to be in the alley before the flash hits for them to get flashed.
And that alley is key. If we flash that one guy, he'll normally despawn when we run past. If we fail to do so, we have to kill him as well as a few other guys that spawn.
Yeah, then they spawn really close, so they must die if you have to kill him.
And this is the junkyard. There's really no way to do this extra fast, especially since we've been using our flashbangs in pretty key spots. We're out of flashbangs now, and unfortunately Schneider died, so I have to be even more careful.
Yeah, he's killing a lot of guys that I would kill. He normally reloads and then throws an incendiary to kill that guy that comes out of the tube, and I kill all these people. Basically just get to Miguel so that you can activate this cutscene.
We want to have enough guys dead when we get to Miguel, because sometimes there'll be a guy kind of standing where I'm aiming now, and he'll shoot Miguel and kill him before the cutscene is over and we'll fail.
Yeah, like the cutscene will continue and then at some point you just die because he shoots, like his dead body shoots you. So, the way that these quick draw cutscenes work is you can just hold the trigger down, and as soon as you're able to shoot them, you'll just shoot them. And then they will die. Like, we had to get this guy and a certain other person towards the end of the game has to die.
Bishop just seems ruthless, though. Well, obviously, since I unload an entire clip, but he just says, "Should we tell Alvarez his little brother ratted him out?" and doesn't even give him an opportunity to reply, just guns him down on the spot.
And that's what happens when you know how to be fast. The game's story just doesn't even make sense.
Nothing makes sense.
And if you listen closely, you can hear us spamming A to get in this helicopter.
We couldn't hear it when we were recording it because it was coming out of the TV speaker, but it's a fun little detail.
Yep. And when one person presses A on the chopper, both people get in. So the other person can be as far as possible.
Yeah.
And Mike and you know, no matter where they are, everybody just does the same animation of getting into the chopper.
So coming up Act 4, we have the first and only instance of the shoulder bump glitch, which also works in the first Rainbow Six Vegas. But do you want to explain a little how that works?
Yeah, so you have to be on an outward-facing corner. So the one player gets on cover on one part of the corner and crouches, and then the other person stands on the other face of the corner. The person who's crouching then pops out, and then the other player that's standing pops out, and then releases the cover button. So then the person who released the cover button will be standing on top of the other person, so you can get a little bit of extra height and get out of bounds.
Then if you sprint off of really any platform, you have a little bit of time before the game says that you should be falling, so you can cross a bit of a gap off of the other player, and you'll see how we utilize that here.
Yeah. So I go down first because I have to aim at a certain spot on the wall.
It's always good to aim down the opposite wall.
Yeah.
And I'm on top, sprint onto the railing, nice and smooth. He kills himself because he can't possibly make it over here.
And because it allows me to spawn.
Yeah, there's an invisible wall right here that he spawns on the other side of if I'm aiming at it.
Yeah, so you may be wondering why we can use this fast rope. This fast rope, normally enemies come down it when you are playing the level as it should be played, but whatever enemies can fast rope down, you can fast rope down as well. So he spawns in with iframes here. The turret guy actually left the turret early. Sometimes he's not blinded, and then he turns around and shoots at...
Yeah, because he's unaffected by
Zeph.
flashbangs, he can be aggroed, get flashed, disengage from his turret, and not be affected by the flash, and just turn around and shoot.
Yeah, so I shoot at him to draw aggro. And this is a door that opens towards you, so you have to look out for that, and the railings can catch you, so you have to go around them.
Throw an incendiary to kill that group of guys. Schneid gets the sniper down range. You don't really have to kill these guys, but it's almost impossible to make it through this area otherwise. Here we're going to set up another shield glitch. Normally we have to tell Mike and Yoon to search that van, but we're going to skip that cutscene, and as a result, skip all the enemies that spawn afterward.
Yeah.
For a distance.
So you can warp through the door. If you warp through the wall, you will die, but if you get right on the door and line up the 2 points, then you can warp through with no problem. And there should be enemies all through here, but since they don't search the van, no enemies spawn here, so you can just run through. And I kill myself at a very specific point so that I'm ready to kill the guys that we need to kill in this next area.
Yeah, so after this checkpoint, everything goes back to normal as far as enemy spawns.
Yep, and there's a guy there that you don't even have to kill or anything. He just doesn't even know you're there.
So you just kind of stand there.
Yep. I kill one guy there. I know that there are 2 guys in that bottom area, and one guy's going to spawn. So I go ahead and just kill him here.
Yeah, I clear guys out and set up a shield glitch here. Schneid's going to kill himself, and I'm going to skip yet another cutscene involving Mike and Yoon, looking at security footage to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so just run at that spot between the 2 like cubicles or filing cabinets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I have to aim at a specific spot to ensure that Schneid consistently spawns on the other side of this wall.
Yeah, there's an invisible wall there. And the invisible wall only goes away when Mike and Yoon do the security cameras, but since they never do it, we have to work some magic to get on the other side.
So as a result of that, obviously there's no guys here either, so we're able to just kind of walk through.
Yeah, and we gained a couple seconds because Zeph kills himself and is able to sprint for a few more seconds, more than I can.
So here we reload to get Mike and Yoon back, because we actually do need them for this next part.
Yeah, we have a bomb defusal here. We have to kill these guys as quickly as possible, so just be real quick with killing them, and then tell Mike and Yoon to disarm the bomb.
Once Mike gets to the bomb and starts the defusal, I regain control of Yoon, which allows me to tell him to take cover there. This kind of gives him a better angle to kill the waves of guys coming in. And we're actually looking to kill every single guy to complete the bomb defusal, and as soon as the bomb defusal is complete, then you're able to advance to the next mission, which Schneid is going to be standing on the trigger for.
Yeah. So the reason you use the Type 05 other than the P90 is right here, because you reload faster with the Type 05.
And sometimes they'll pour out in like a group of 3, and if you fail to kill all of them with one clip, then it's very risky to have a slow reload animation. There's one more guy here that just doesn't want to come out, so I actually use the TAC map for its intended purpose and find the last guy.
Yeah, he's not supposed to stay in there. They're usually just all come out. But as soon as that guy is dead, then the loading trigger for the next area becomes available, and I just activate it because I've been standing in it for 30 seconds or so.
So right here, I have a pretty intense bit of menuing. I have to switch back to my pistol as well as telling Mike and Young to hold and switch to infiltrate mode so they don't kill anybody in this next room.
Yeah, I have to flash those guys, otherwise 2 guys come through the area that we're going through right now, and
more
it's annoying.
downrange.
Yeah.
So I bank a flash here to get the guys at the bottom of this fast rope. Schneid does the same.
Yeah, that gives us plenty of time to get past them. And then Zeph throws a flashbang there. Normally the guy on the right that I just killed doesn't die, or he doesn't get flashed, so killing him is essential if he doesn't get flashed, because he has a shotgun.
Another guy on the right, Schneid flashes just for safety.
Yeah, they can get the rare headshot and just instantly kill you.
And this flashbang I threw a little early. You're supposed to throw it as soon as, or it's supposed to detonate as soon as the 2 guys get to the bottom of the fast rope to flash everybody.
Yeah, I should be alive, but it's not a problem because he's still alive.
And then right there, that flashbang was supposed to be more toward the corner to flash the 2 guys behind me.
Yeah, more to the right.
Yeah, more to the right corner, the outside corner, to bounce back and hit them. Unfortunately, they didn't kill me or anything like that.
Yeah. So, because I died, I'm in front of him here, which is good because I'm gonna go ahead while he waits back and kills himself.
Yeah, I have out my... Well, that flash there is pretty difficult.
Yeah, basically, there's an explosion happening while you're throwing it, if you're being as fast as you can be. So you just need to focus up to throw it.
Yeah, being fast skips most of the enemies there. So I spawn in with iframes, kill the 2 guys that spawn here, then I accidentally pick up a gun. It's no big deal. Schneid attempts to throw my incendiary.
Yeah, it hits the bar,
Yeah,
but
we're able to get through there, no big deal.
yeah, that shield guy has to die for you to get past, otherwise he just kill you.
So I switch Mike and Young to assault mode for this next area, because this is probably one of the hardest rooms in the game. Then I reload checkpoint to get them all regrouped.
Yep. So just follow what we do here if you want to get through this room. Kill that guy, throw a flashbang right, player 2, the guy on the right,
I throw
looks
one off
left.
that column.
Yeah, sometimes a guy comes out from the left side and you have to kill him. Kill guys as you go up the escalator, because if you're slow getting up the escalator, more guys will spawn. So just run and shoot, and you usually won't die, surprisingly.
And the reason we go around the left side instead of the what appears to be more optimal right side, there's just too many guys on the right. It's much safer to go left. Here, Mike and Young should be defusing the bomb, but I may have pressed A one too many times, so they were deciding not to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah. And one shield guy is missing. Usually there's 2 shield guys, but for some reason the shield guy popped in way late.
So once they start the defusal process, there's 3 guys that come over the ropes here. Killing them as quickly as possible saves the most time, because when you kill the last guy, the bomb defusal is complete.
Yep. Killing them triggers the next part of the dialogue. And then you just climb up these ropes and wait for the chopper. And I went to the bathroom at this point in the run, so I'm just chilling. And I'm gonna get shot.
Shot by the rogue shield guy.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because wherever I am, even if I'm dead, I'll still get in the chopper when he activates the chopper, so it doesn't matter.
So at this point, I'm obviously a little bit excited that we're
Yeah, we pretty
on a good
much,
pace.
we only really have one big task left to do at the end of, well, to get to the end, essentially. Yeah.
In case you're wondering, I'm slamming the sprint button to hit myself.
And you can take cover on the hitbox of the helicopter, like the box that it's going to land in. In some acts, not in others.
Dialogue's great.
Yes, this game has 10 out of 10 dialogue at all times.
There's NSA agent. He is NSA agent. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, just NSA agent, no name.
No name. All will be explained in due time. So coming up is Act 5, which is definitely our favorite act in the run.
Yep, best act. Worst act is 3, best act is 5.
Yeah, there's just a lot of skips going on here, starting with what we call the penthouse skip, which is probably the most remarkable skip in the game.
Yeah, so the way it works is we exploit cutscene mechanics. When you're in a cutscene, you can't be damaged at all, and that includes falling damage and getting shot. So, what we do here is we set up a shield glitch to get me onto a railing, and from that railing, I'm going to fall. And then Zeph is going to activate the cutscene by falling into the cutscene trigger.
Right, I fall into the balcony below, well, more to the barely outside of the balcony to clip the outer railing. But I trigger the cutscene. Schneid dies when he falls, but instantly comes back to life when I hit the cutscene. But he's outside of the balcony, and he's able to fall all the way to the bottom with the cutscene mechanics.
Yeah, so we reload here because sometimes guys in a room below will get aggroed and they'll start shooting at me for, you know, just because they got aggroed, and it'll mess up my setup. But there's the first part of the shield skip.
I kill myself here. I could do it a little earlier, but I want to give him plenty of time to set up comfortably.
Yeah, so I'm already in an area where I shouldn't be, and I fall onto a railing that I shouldn't be able to get onto.
So right now I'm counting down. It's actually out of sync with the timer, the respawn timer, but I'm counting down out loud to give Schneid a helping hand.
Yep. So that was the skip right there. It's really fast.
He has to go off of the rail at a very specific time. I have to spawn at a specific time and fall into a specific place for it all to work.
Yeah, and I'm able to run through there because I'm in a cutscene, so I can't be shot.
There's a couple flashbangs at the end there.
Yeah, flashbang because the cutscene ends a little bit before the end there, so I have to flash those guys and make sure I don't get killed.
So coming up here, I'm supposed to be dying at a specific spot to set up invulnerability frames, but I die a little bit early. But as you'll see, it doesn't change too much about the situation.
Yeah, these guys don't really matter as far as spawns go, but he's supposed to die right
Throw
here.
my grenade right there.
Yeah, or yeah, throw his grenade and then he dies a little bit later.
Yep.
And I flash those guys. That's good enough to get past them. And I have to throw a flash to the right here and to the left to get everybody that I can flash.
Normally I'll spawn in right about here, and I'll just run straight across with a full bar sprint. Then I throw a bank incendiary grenade to get that shield guy. I did get him, but unfortunately got Schneid before. The guy there, he was supposed to be where I threw the first incendiary. He wasn't really behaving, but we got him.
Yeah, he behaves 9 out of 10 times, but sometimes you just have to be aware that he will come out.
That guy is optional, the one I just like to kill a couple people here to make it a little safer. But as you'll see, that doesn't really matter too much. But 9 out of 10 times, one of us will get through here.
Yeah, a couple safety flashes to make sure that everything is okay.
So coming up here is the biggest time-saving skip in the game. Well, it's not nearly as difficult as the previous one.
Yeah, I was supposed to flash that guy, but it unfortunately bounced off of
it bounced
Zeth's
off my head.
hitbox.
So you set up there and release at the top of this staircase. What this skips, it's a good like 5 minutes or something like that of going through, watching cutscenes, turret auto-scroller, going bomb defusal. It's just a lot of stuff, but fortunately the exit level part is...
The exit is
right
really
by
close to the start.
Yeah, so we can just get up there and get out.
Yeah, and we throw incendiaries here. Once you kill any of these first 3 guys, 2 shield guys spawn behind them, so you have to throw multiple grenades to get the 2 shield guys. And we just spam grenades, basically, to make sure they're dead.
And right here, 2 guys rappel down and 3 come down the stairs. Normally I would try throwing a flashbang, but the guys coming down the rappel, their hitbox kind of forms a column that goes all the way down, even if they're at the top of the rope. So it's pretty risky and difficult to try and get a good flashbang for the guys on the stairs.
Yeah, that's just the way the fast rope works. The hitbox just goes all the way down from the top to the bottom.
So generally it's just safer to just stand there and kill them.
Yeah.
Schneid gets to the turret. He's going to be kind of providing support and killing guys. The objective of this area is to kill everybody.
Yeah.
There's a couple waves of guys that are capped off by 2 shield guys at the end. That's how we know we're at the end. I tell Mike and Jung to go across to the other side just to increase our area of view, just being able to shoot as many guys as possible, as quickly as possible.
And I make sure to mark as many people as I can. And to kill the 2 guys that are on turrets on the other side, usually you have barrels that you can blow up to kill them, but they weren't there for some odd reason, or they were already exploded by the time you got up here.
So you saw the first shield guy. This is the second one, marking the end of the auto-scroller here.
Yeah, Mike and Jung are actually surprisingly good at killing shield guys, so make sure you mark those shield guys. Sometimes they just get skill shots on the hand. The guy that I'm about to kill shouldn't be there. Sometimes they just spawn in after the objective's complete.
I don't understand that guy.
He's weird.
Sometimes people will actually disappear during this previous section, and it will soft lock the game. That hasn't happened in a while up to this point, though.
Yeah, it's soft locked sometimes here, and that's a really horrible part for it to soft lock on, but sometimes it happens. And if you shoot Mike and Jung, the blood's like sprite will fly back and forth.
Yeah, we think it's part of the spotlight that's down below, but we're not 100%. It just kind of splats onto something, and it just...
Yeah, this is what we do when we're waiting for this really long cutscene to end. It's just mess around. It's pretty long. There's NSA agent. So, NSA agent. The most interesting character.
Yeah.
Some say he's gay.
The story tries to convince you that this NSA agent is actually Gabriel Novak, but if that were the case, then the events of the first game could not have happened. So we came up with a theory that this is not at all Gabe. This is just some agent.
Yeah, he's just an agent doing his job, you know? Basically, Mike and Jung leave right now to join up with Keller in the first game. So, Act 2 of the first game, you meet up with them, and it's at night, and they're fresh off of the events of this game that just happened. And then, in Act 5, you free Gabe from captivity in Dante's theater, but at the end of this act that we're about to do, NSA agent reveals that he's Gabriel.
Well,
and
the person wearing the NSA uniform, well, Gabe shows up. He's wearing the NSA uniform, so it is implied that it is the same masked man that you see here.
Yeah, but we don't think so, because that would mean that from Act 2 to Act 5 of the first game would take roughly the 10 minutes that this single act takes. And Gabe would have to go from this airstrip to Dante's casino and back to reveal that he is, in fact, Gabe.
But if this is just some random agent and Gabe shows up at the end, kills this NSA agent, and then kills Alvarez, then that works out fine.
Yeah, it's a little bit more plausible. I have to kill myself right away, by the way, so that I get set up for this right here. Zeph doesn't shoot anything here because you can get past these guys without aggroing them.
This next area is pretty hectic. It took a long time to figure out the right pattern for getting through here quickly and safely.
Yeah.
Flash this first guy, he kills the turret guy, and then cleans up. I throw a few incendiaries in key spots to kill the guy there. A guy behind, I think Schneid sniped him though.
Yeah, I shoot the two guys. Sometimes Zeph has to kill him.
Yeah, throw a couple flashes here, and then I re-flash. I just throw flashes liberally in this area because there's a lot of guys who want to kill you.
Yeah, and depending on how fast you are, some guys will be here, some guys won't. So we just have a pattern that's bound to get everybody.
Yeah, really something we didn't get too specific about was the overall concept of momentum in this game, where skipping guys via flashing them or just being overall fast can determine if guys later on spawn or not.
Yeah, and if you reach a checkpoint and you keep moving through the checkpoint, then you'll have different spawn patterns than if you reload at the checkpoint.
There's a guy behind those boxes there that we try to flash.
Yeah, you can't see him here, but he's there. Well, sometimes he's not there, but
Right.
He's there often enough that he's a danger.
So here's Refinery. There's another shield glitch coming up here. Normally in Refinery you have to go deactivate the alarm, then a bunch of guys in two vans come in, guys on turrets across, you have to kill everybody and kind of crawl through, hopefully not getting shot along the way. This shield glitch allows us to get through here very quickly without hardly any resistance.
Yes, this is the Patrician's way of doing this. He warps through here. So
I pushed myself against that that pipe there. That's how I marked the release point.
Yeah. So he shouldn't be in this area right now, but you need to press the button for that gate to open, and then vans roll up and guys pop out and you have to shoot them. But he's able to get through there fast enough to not have to deal with those guys.
Upon flashing the guy that I just flashed, we get this audio glitch, which is kind of annoying, but it'll end soon enough, so just bear with us.
Yeah, it always happens here for some reason, just on this version.
Yeah.
And as I go through the door, he kills himself.
Setting up iframes for the next room here.
Yeah. So it's really important that I not die here and that I run through fast. But there's one guy that I have to kill, and it's a little bit risky because we don't want both of us to die, otherwise we have to reload. And he has iframes enough here to be able to run, and I just spam incendiaries to get everybody out of the way.
Airstrip's pretty straightforward.
Don't shoot.
Yeah, don't pull the trigger at any point, and you're good.
Yeah. Well, you have to flash this
you
one
gotta
guy,
flash
but
this guy, but
if you don't kill anybody, then a lot of guys won't spawn.
yeah, if that guy does get aggroed, then everything falls apart. Schneid throws a few safety flashes. If I had a spare flash, I'd throw it here, but otherwise you can just kill this guy and run through.
Yeah, if we could do this over again, we'd have another flash there because we can switch some of the flashes around, but it just so happened that we were out there. But it wasn't a big deal.
So here's the cutscene that really rips the plot of this game open. Unfortunately, we're kind of looking away during it, but essentially what happens, Gabe shows up, he's wearing the NSA uniform, obviously, and he kills Alvarez instead of paying him for letting him use his private army.
Yeah, you want to move up against these boxes here and just take cover because it actually speeds up the time until the explosion occurs. Yeah, just if you don't get shot at by anybody, then the explosion happens faster.
Yeah, you regain control, a couple seconds pass, and then you're launched into another incident.
Yeah. This is one of the longest cutscenes. For some reason, occasionally you can see Alvarez just sitting against the wall.
And he's not dead.
Yeah, sometimes, and he's clearly breathing, but that only happens sometimes that you see that. I don't really know why or when specifically that happens, but
We want to give you the benefit of the doubt, Ubisoft.
you know, Alvarez may still be alive.
Vegas 3 confirmed.
And we know for a fact that Gabriel Novak is still alive,
Yeah.
as you'll see.
Good to have you back. Whoa,
Okay, so you can see the blood splat where Sharon got shot earlier,
Gabriel.
if you know anything about the story. And this is the only ending part of the act where you can change your outfitting.
You can do it at the end of Act 5 as well, when you're waiting for NSA agent to get into the chopper.
Oh, right. That does take forever.
We've been operating without rest for the past day, and we've lost good friends. The mission is over for today. Gabriel's actions burn me.
The only other way that the first game could happen is if Gabe had that body double, which
If
can
Gabe
be
has a
confirmed.
twin,
The end of the
oh
game
my god,
confirms it.
true. That's so true.
Yeah, man.
Novak does have a twin.
Yeah, the body double theory is confirmed. Alright, so coming up is the last act. The beginning of the last act is pretty difficult. You have to kill pretty much everybody so that Mike and Yoon can get to a certain point without getting shot to bits.
Yeah. This is like the only act that's not 100% perfect, like absolute godly perfection. But we do it fast enough, you know. Basically, we're gonna reload here at a certain point to get everybody to the bottom of the rope, just like in Act 3. Like, only one player can go down the rope at a time, and then after the players get down the rope, then Mike and Yoon go down one at a time, but that's just too slow to kill the people that we need to kill.
Right, so as soon as I start roping down, Schneid will pause the game and then reload as soon as my feet hit the ground.
Yeah, you can hit the checkpoint while you have the start menu up. And I throw incendiaries here. This incendiary is supposed to kill this shield guy, but I just make sure that he's dead. And I throw another incendiary to kill a guy way back there. Sometimes the guy comes around the corner of the house, so you have to look for him, and I have to kill this turret guy as soon as possible.
I'm using flashbangs to make this a little bit easier to get all these guys.
Yeah, they have to die because Mike and Yoon have to hit a switch at the end of this little area right here.
Yeah.
And you have to watch out for the guy on the left.
Yeah, next time.
He's really annoying sometimes.
If you go through the windows, not the door, it's easier because you can see everything going on in there.
Yeah, if you open the door, sometimes you just get shot in the face right away.
We bombard this next area with incendiaries. There's a variable
There's
amount
shield
of
guys. Yeah, there's shield guys, and you have to kill them for Mike and Yoon to hit the switch safely. And then we just go up to this door because we have to wait for them.
I've cut power to the security.
Oh, I remember that little bit of lag where we switched to OBS to make sure that whatever it was Avermedia was make sure we were
Oh yeah,
incendiary
just
those
killing
two
those guys
guys,
is safe.
and I whip around and shoot the third guy.
Yeah, I was a little unclear on where that flash was going, but it's good enough.
Yeah, there's a guy on that porch that we should flash whenever possible.
Yeah, we're fast enough to skip a couple guys that are supposed to spawn. And he sets up a glitch here, and while he's setting up the glitch, I flash the guys in the next room. So it all fits neatly together. But unfortunately, this guy on the stairs was just too good and kills Zeph. He's supposed to release the shield glitch at the top of those stairs and warp to the end of this area.
Fortunately, we have a pretty consistent backup strat of just setting up iframes here.
Yep. Just kill that guy, iframe through, hit the checkpoint, and reload so that Mike and Yoon are caught up.
Normally, when I complete the shield glitch, I'll spawn on the far side of this room, do a little backtrack, and do the same exact thing, reload the checkpoint. So here's another cutscene where Mike's defusing a bomb. Then it explodes on him, and Bunch of guys pour in, gotta kill the guys.
You gotta kill the guys to open the next area. And I'm aiming at the spot where Mike is going to fall down so that I can stab him with the needle as quickly as possible and get him in the action, essentially. Yeah, and I just prefer heat vision here, so I can see the guys around here. And there's nothing much to do but just kill them. Like, they just keep coming in, and you just wait, or, like, kill them. It's no big deal.
Haven't found a way to get out of this room.
Yeah, if we could, we would. But
A couple spots like that.
yeah. So here I throw a grenade to break open this door, because it gives him a little more room to set up this glitch.
If I go too far out from the door frame there, I will trigger the next cutscene and everything will be ruined.
Yeah, Gabe will blow up the balcony, and then you'll fall down, and you'll have to fight the chopper.
Unfortunately, my release point was a little suspect, so I went out of bounds there and died.
Yep. And then I messed up this grenade here, because I didn't expect Mike to be standing, or Yoon to be standing right there. So he has to be doubly careful when he does this.
Yeah, it's just that couple inches extra that I have to worry about.
Yep. So he gets it the second time. And then right now he's out of bounds, and you have to fall. You have to fall on that chair, fall on that railing. Otherwise, you take too much damage and you
And then
die.
when you drop onto the fence, you will die from fall damage. Then I aim at Gabe, or what we have now established as the body double of Gabe, so that Schneid spawns there. We don't know why the spawn system works that way at that specific point. There's no other point like it.
Yeah, normally you spawn behind and to the right of the other player, but maybe it's just because behind and to the right of the player is off of a railing, something like that. And you'll notice that Joanna is talking to us.
Yeah, normally when we get through 2 phases of the helicopter fight, which, mind you, causes the game to lag.
Yeah, it's horrible lag on the
Ridiculous
Xbox
amount.
360 with 2 players.
Yeah. And then after that, we have to get to this spot here. The fence explodes. We get over here, and then what you're seeing now goes on. At this point, we know that we got the sub-hour. That this is it, because it's pretty much.
Yeah, there's nothing left to do, really, except to shoot Gabe. And, like, you saw Checkpoint Reach when we came to this little house. You just had to get into the house to start the missile thing, and then you go into this cutscene, and then that's it. You don't have to do the helicopter fight.
Roger that. Good luck, Bishop.
So, here comes Gabe.
Timing ends, by the way, when you shoot Gabe, and as mentioned earlier, you can just hold on the trigger, and it'll automatically shoot at the end of the cutscene.
Yeah, as long as you keep the crosshair on Gabe, you'll have a perfect shot dead center of the screen. No way you can miss as long as you're aiming at him. No bullets spread. And then you hit time as soon as you hear that report. And Gabe is just explaining his whole... He's like his everything.
Lack of reasoning
Yeah.
behind his actions.
Yeah, basically he's mad because his mentor was so good, basically.
You always covered for me every fucking time. Of course I did.
It's even funnier when the events of Act 1, we skip key parts that
Yeah,
would ultimately lead to his actions.
we skip a couple character motivations, but it's whatever.
So it really just looks like there's no reason behind his actions.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that we aim at the most lethal part of his body to assure that he goes down here.
Who's next? Your dog Logan? I'm better than he ever was, and you promoted him.
Yeah. When he lists all the people that got killed as a result of this operation, he neglects to mention NSA agent,
I know all about.
unfortunately.
Nice little backflip.
Yep. So here we have Gabe's twin.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Vegas 1 confirmed. It happened. It obviously happened. We don't know who that guy is.
He looks like what's that guy's name?
Oh man, what is his name? Not.
The NSA, the head of the NSA, who's like,
Yeah.
He tells you to Lawrence.
Lawrence, Aaron Lawrence.
He tells you to investigate the small buildings instead of the stadium, so the civilians get gassed in the stadium.
And there's another suited
Another
man on the left.
bureaucrat.
Just
Bishop,
not
I
even
never thought I'd see the day you'd completely
explained
thrown
anything.
the book
Who are the guys
As of
anyway
now,
who
your
are
position at the
detaining them?
academy is
Yeah, and if you listen to the dialogue here, you'll notice that it's not synced up at all
joining me in Hereford as a
between
deputy director.
Ding and
Good work tonight.
the guys.
Yeah, that happens a lot. We don't know why. I think it's it might be a co-op thing.
Anyways,
Just out of sync, but that's it.
yeah, thanks for watching.